Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rachelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely wife, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, another Friday, another week in the books.
Yeah.
The highlight of this week so far to me is waking up this morning and it being 60-something degrees, and it's only 72 out there now. Man, the wind's blowing. Finally feels like fall.
Yeah.
On October the 4th, is that where we're at?
It feels fall-like, yeah.
I said it could stay like this till Halloween, and I'm ready for cold weather.
Yeah. I'm over the summer this year. Normally, I don't want to see it go.
I got to get some seeds in the ground. Some deer have something to eat this winter. Right now, it's been too hot. They're out there. I don't know what they're doing, eating now. Probably getting ate alive by ticks, I imagine. They're covered. I'm watching my cameras, though.
How's it going?
Man, we got a ton of deer.
Do you really?
Yeah. Got some on the hit list. Nothing monstrous, but we got some. Some that need to go for the deer farm. That's if you didn't know, I'm in a farming operation with my.
That doesn't surprise me. So first, we want to give a big thanks to Greg Rimpey.
Yeah,
he's helped us out
with our sound. We hope our sound's sounding better, but more importantly, I do his show.
Learning. Yeah.
Once a month, the first Tuesday of the month, and that was this past Tuesday. You can always tune in. I try to let everybody know, but you can go back and listen to his stuff archived too. But we talked about some cool stuff, but man, he hit me with something I wasn't expecting. He does a Hall of Fame, and he inducted me to his Barbecue Hall of Fame. And
who's in there?
I don't know, man. It's the who's who of barbecue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you're in that one, as far as that's another bona fide thing. For real.
Another feather in your hat.
Yeah. Greg, man, Greg's been doing this. I don't know how many years. You'd have to ask him, but I know before we
over 10.
It's over 10. I know, and because we talked to him back when we first got started, and that was when we were doing a newsletter. Me and him talked about it. He was like, we started. That's what got him interested. I guess he saw our newsletter out when we were doing that. That's been
before we did videos.
That's been over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Then. So
and we've been doing videos for 10 years.
It'll be 10
this summer.
June. Yep.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But and so we and throughout the years I've went on his shows different times, and
everybody goes on his show.
Yeah.
Steve Reichland goes on his show.
Meathead's on there.
Meathead goes on his show.
He gets, all the big winners, that somebody wins a contest, they usually go on his show. American Royal, Livestock, Houston Livestock, Jack, Memphis and May.
He's the Johnny Carson of barbecue.
He does. Well,
what'd y'all talk about this past week?
We talked about buying a trailer because he actually listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was listening to see if my sound was better or if he was really interested. And I think he was interested. But he was interested in talking about trailer and what it's like to go through, making that decision to spend all that money. And how do you come up with that budget and all that? And
how far are you on your trailer buying?
Not much further than I was last week.
I thought about this the other day. I think the fact that I gave you the green light just threw you for a loop.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
You like to just do it without any approval.
That's true. Now it's not a surprise to you. Well, I guess I got to buy an RV to go with that trailer then. If I can get me.
I think that's what happened.
That's what, but yeah, that's what we talked. We talked about that. We talked about a couple of the recipes that we done recently.
But you go on there the first Tuesday of every month.
First Tuesday of every month, Barbecue Central show.
You're the first guest usually.
Usually first segment, yeah. Fresh in from football practice with Michael. Usually I'd duck out.
Yeah.
The coach likes to keep them till 8:00, and I hate to be late, so you'll pick him up, and I'll be ready to go on Skype.
Last weekend, we cooked our local backyard contest.
The Hernando Water Tower Fest.
Non-sanctioned.
It was a complete success as far as I'm concerned. I showed up with 12 cases of beer, and we had a blast.
It was a little bit of a hospitality thing. We had a lot of friends stop by.
It was mainly, but I tell you what, it was, once again, it was hot.
It was so hot.
It didn't matter because we were kind of, if you called that downtown or the square area, there's 2 or 3 little restaurants around there, and we had lunch I had lunch at both of them. One day I went to Windy City. One day we went to AC.
Because you can just walk there.
Yeah,
it's a great little contest.
And then
we cooked it with Swine Life and Tennessee Mojo.
Yeah, we got some calls in a few categories. Yeah. I don't know how.
Swine Life.
Yeah, I didn't cook
because Emily won dessert. She got first place.
Jamie
she made
got some beans. Mark got some steak calls. Oh, now we ought to have her on here
Talk
just to
about-
go over that cheesecake recipe.
It was
in-
perfect.
in full detail. Because
Yeah.
that may have, I consider myself a cheesecake aficionado, not a snob, an
Connoisseur.
connoisseur. Hadn't met a bad one.
Gourmand.
I'll even dip down and eat the no bakes.
Yeah.
That you just mix up, put the crumb crust. But this one that she did, it was I guess it's a regular cheesecake, so a New York style cheesecake with a caramel sauce, and she made like a caramel glass and had that on top of it, and then had real homemade whipped cream that she kind of garnished, decorated with, and then strawberries.
Yeah.
And on their Facebook page, I think Mark put a picture of it up.
Yeah.
You can
Jake
go
took
there
a
and see
really good
you can go there and see a slice of it, and the picture doesn't do it justice, and the picture's phenomenal.
It was one of the better pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the better
good.
cheesecakes I've ever had, because the crust had a little like savory note to it.
I don't know what
And the
I think she
cheesecake was perfect.
brown
creamy.
butter and added a little
That's
like
what it was.
sea
So it had
salt
that
to it or something. Yeah,
nuttiness.
it was amazing. No, and it had a little bit of like cinnamon flavor or something to it.
But very,
Faint.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was incredibly well done. She won first place dessert. I think she would have won first place dessert in any category with that cheesecake that day. It just it was perfect. Beans and steak.
We did pork and we did ribs, and they were good. I thought they were real good.
Yeah.
But as far as the meat goes, the best thing we cooked was Mark did these little porterhouse lamb chops. Have you seen them? Like you can get them at, I think you got them at Kroger, but I've seen them at Sam's in like a multi-pack. It's like a little
We've
bitty.
cooked them before. You have a recipe on an old one.
They're good. They're great. And he did them on that M grill. It's the little ammo box grill on a tabletop.
How did that go?
Now I did go over and watch that. I ran the thermopit on that. So I was like, Mark, don't want to overcook this lamb, and it was, I don't know what he seasoned them with, because he was up in the trailer and he come out and we put them on there, and it didn't take, I bet you they weren't on that grill 3.5, 4 minutes total. And he just flipped them around. Wasn't worried about trying. I mean, they were on grill grate, but it wasn't like trying to get grill marks. Really, you're just trying to sear that outside. The whole time he's got like lump coal underneath it in that M grill. And it's flaming up because he's made this herb butter mixture that he's like basting the lamb with as it cooks, and it's kind of causing it to flame up. I said, man, what? Burger King ain't got nothing on you, Mark Williams. cooking on that M grill, these little porterhouse lamb chops. It smelled like, when you go to the fair or something, and you got those guys cooking like the gyros and the sausages, and you can just get a whiff of that with that with all of it, the lamb and the butter and all that herbs dripping down on those coals right there. And it was fantastic, and they were cooked perfect. And I don't know how he did in the contest, but man, they were. I could have ate the whole turn-in box of them, because it's not but a bite.
Lamb.
Yeah, and I'm not a big lamb. I mean, lamb's okay, but it's like salmon. I've had some, that's good, really good. Then I've had some that's like, I'm not eating that again. But it was good. It was really good.
I had to take Michael to the football game, but people were sending me pictures. Y'all were underneath a 10x10 pop-up tent with flames kissing that tent.
Did you get pictures of it?
Yeah.
How high? So he kept feeding it like kindling sticks. I mean, this thing is no bigger than, well, if you can imagine an ammo can, that's what it is. So I would say it's 12 inches long.
It's like a tackle box almost.
Maybe about 8 inches wide at the most. And it's
just a place to put
stainless steel box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a place to put some coals at the bottom with a grate on top.
And that's it. You're cooking directly over them. And they made them so you can just grill something real fast. It's portable.
Yeah.
And you can shut it down, but it don't cool off fast. I don't know. That thing was probably still hot when we left that night at 10 o'clock. It was crazy. I mean, but he had to, he fed it flame. He's like, I gotta get it hot. And I was like, man, I was afraid he's going to melt those racks when he put them on there, but it handled it. I mean, you didn't want to touch it, but it was, I mean, it's a cooking machine.
He saved me a piece of lamb because he knows I love lamb.
What'd you think about it?
It was excellent. It was very
And you ate
good.
a couple hours
and
later.
I ate it cold. Yeah. It was very good. I turned in that bacon wrapped shrimp recipe that I turned in at Memphis May.
Yeah, they were good.
They weren't the best. At Memphis May, they were really good because we used smaller shrimp and doubled them. Put one shrimp on the top, one shrimp on the bottom, put the stuffing in the middle.
Right.
And then wrapped a really thin piece of bacon around it. So it turned out much better. This time I used a really big piece of shrimp, just one piece of shrimp, and a thicker piece of bacon, and it just didn't do as well.
Yeah, you didn't like it. It's too chewy, or
yeah, the bacon wasn't
I had one. I mean, I had one. I thought they were pretty good. You know.
Yeah. They weren't as good as they could have been.
It was. I think wasn't that one of the later turn-ins, and it was.
Yeah.
By that point, I got out there at 7:15, cracked a beer, at 8 a.m. You didn't turn in until almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was a long day. I didn't care what shrimp tastes like at that point. I was out there to socialize.
We got a couple Post Malone shirts left over.
Yeah, we need to give those away.
I think I'm gonna do a giveaway. Yeah.
We need to, because you bought a bunch of them, didn't you?
So is that a one and done?
I got to send Greg one.
Yeah, I got
his address.
I got one ready to go today for him.
Yeah.
I was gonna send him some of your new Malcom.
No, it one and done. I don't think so.
No, for Post Oak Malone.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep that name in the reserves. When you could come out incognito, get me some stick-on face tattoos, and I'm ready to go cook. Anytime I pull Jolene out, I can be Post Oak Malone. I just love that. I love that.
It's
name.
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people kept telling me like, I don't get it. And I'm like, oh, they use Post Oak to smoke.
If you're young enough to know who Post Malone is, you probably don't know what Post Oak is.
Yeah.
And if you're old, and if you know what Post Oak is, you have no clue. This fellow with some tattoos on his face. Yeah. And then when you play them some music, they really don't get it, because I don't know how many people say, I've heard my kid played me his stuff and I can't understand a word of it. It's like, man, you don't understand Rockstar? What's his song that I like? Is it Rockstar?
You like a
bunch
bunch of them.
I
Wow.
like
You like Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So we had Heath on last week, and he was talking about going down to Ruleville.
Yeah, for the next leg of that Delta thing, and when somebody stole his ribs.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of anybody's meat getting stolen at a contest. You know, and it ended up
when we first heard about it, we just assumed it was like a
sabotage.
competitor. Yeah.
Somebody didn't want him to win.
Yeah.
They were out to get him.
So when did he know his ribs were gone? Like when he woke up,
put them on at 5 a.m. got up to work.
Raw.
They were in a cooler.
Okay, I was thinking they stole them off the smoker.
No, they were in a cooler. Yeah, and apparently, I guess whoever did it got it several people, but they were cooking in front of a bank. And so I guess Heath went to the organizer, and they went to the police and checked, and they went and checked the security camera and saw the guy that did it, and went and got him from his house. I guess they knew who he was. Maybe he's a town thief.
Yeah, town thief. Come on, George. We know you got him in there.
We got the town thief back locked up. But the kicker was the dude, I don't know how long it was from the time he got Heath's ribs or to when he got, they arrested him, but he done sold the meat. Like they weren't
really?
there. Yeah. It was gone. So
so the meat wasn't there at all.
Wasn't there. No, he didn't recover his meat. Now that would have been something if it had recovered the ribs and then he'd cooked them.
I don't know.
But he ended up KO and Austin were there cooking too. So they each gave him some of theirs or whatever. You know how barbecue is. You go help your buddies out.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming in 5th or 6th with that. He was behind because I guess
he had to find some ribs first.
Yeah. So he did not do well, but I mean, still top 10.
Yeah. That's just crazy. Have you ever heard of anybody getting their meat stolen?
Never. I've never heard of anybody getting it stolen. You know? That's something you don't really think about at a barbecue contest. Somebody actually stealing your meat. I mean, everybody's got a cooler full of meat.
Yeah.
But no, I hadn't. That's the first time. I'd have been.
Sorry.
Well,
sorry it had to happen to Heath.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably thinking he got sabotaged too.
Yeah.
I think he's got one more shot though.
Okay.
That the points or whatever.
I thought he said there was. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
This week, you cooked a Bonafide Ribeye steak sandwich.
Yes, I did. And that recipe was the first time I ever cooked it. And I guarantee you it won't be the last because I said that it's probably one of the best sandwiches I've ever ate in my life. I mean, it's a ribeye smothered with portobello mushrooms, onions, and cheese on garlic toast with roasted garlic mayonnaise. Now, how can that be bad? There's no way it can be bad. There's no way it can be bad. Can't be good for you, but it can't be bad. Now, you said it's the best steak sandwich you ever had. I guess
I'll put it up there. I mean, I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
In terms of best sandwich.
I did. I don't know. So when it
was delicious.
I really did cooking it.
There were no leftovers.
I had to stop and like really say, hold on a minute. This is good. This is good. It was that good.
And you cook a lot of good stuff.
And I cook a lot of good stuff.
See, when you first told me you were going to do a steak sandwich, I was thinking more cheesesteak style, or where you cut the steak up.
Yeah, and that's how you see them most of the time. I don't know if I've, there used to be a restaurant. They're still there in South Haven called Dale's. I took you there. It's been years ago, but they used to do a steak sandwich, and it wasn't nowhere near that. But it was a good steak sandwich.
Was it a full piece?
Yeah,
of
they
steak?
put a little ribeye on a sandwich, and that's how. I think
What kind of bread would they use?
It was just like a French hoagie bun or whatever.
Yeah.
Serve it with peppers and onion. They were still more like sauteed, kind of not real soft. The peppers and onions still had a little bit of bite to them. They probably put cheese on it. I don't remember, and served it with A1 sauce. I do remember that.
Was it good?
Yeah, heck yeah, it was a good sandwich. And that was, steak sandwich. Most of the time you see them, somebody slices them up, or they do it like a thin slice, like Philly cheesesteak style or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought whole on Texas toast would make it look awesome. And it did. Because, there's more meat than there. Most of the time with the sandwich you get, it's just big old bun and there's more bread than there is anything. I was like, no.
And it's dry.
We just need the bread on the outside to pick it up. That way we
keep it thin. Yeah.
But, it's a meal, though. And that was, 10-ounce steak. That's a decent size.
So what kind of ribeyes did you use?
They were from Kroger. I didn't do anything special. I went in there and I didn't even get them out of the butcher case. I got them off the shelf, where they have them already packaged up. Because that's usually where they have the thinner cuts. That's what.
So you were looking for a thinner cut of
I was
steak?
looking. I went and found. I sorted.
It was still pretty. It was an inch.
No way. It was probably half.
Half an inch.
Yeah. I'd say half. If I'd have got that in a contest, I'd have been like, oh, we're screwed.
Yeah.
There ain't enough room to get string around it. But for cooking, I just sorted through the meat case and found the smallest ones. And they were all, within 8 to 10 ounces is what I'd found. And I don't think they were $9 a piece, something like that, $8.99. So they weren't too bad.
Reasonable
price. And I was looking for one that had a decent spinalis, because I knew that's my favorite part to eat. And I wanted that hanging off the sandwich. And got them home, and instead of cutting them up, I knew that we're not going to use a knife or fork to eat them with.
See, that was my concern. Are you going to try?
How you going to bite it?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I don't want to bite into it and
And since they weren't expensive steaks, I said, well, I'm going to tenderize them. And Jay's the one that put me onto the onion slicer.
Yeah.
It looks like a faux pick.
Everybody commented about faux pick.
But it's really an onion slicer. I got it off Amazon for like $5.
I put the link to Amazon up there.
Did you? Yeah. But then what it's meant to do is you jab it through an onion, and it's got perfect guides for you to stick your knife through and cut slices, or tomatoes or whatever.
Yeah.
But for tenderizing a steak, it works perfect because the tines are sharp and thin, and it's easier to clean. It's smaller than a jacquard. The jacquard always gets me because it's got that spring loaded.
It mashes.
You punch it and it mashes. Yeah, this is just poking straight through. It's just kind of like needling it. And so I did that a few times. I didn't do it a ton and let it set out. And so it kind of loosened up. And that's when we, put the seasoning and stuff to it. I kept it real simple. It was just salt and pepper. And I wanted a little tiny touch of steaks that we'd like to eat. Excuse me. Steaks that we'd like to eat. I did Worcestershire and balsamic vinegar just because it gives it a good flavor. That's the kind of steak I like to eat at home.
Just a little splash of each.
It goes great on a steak sandwich.
Yeah.
Let that sit while grill came up. Give me time to saute the veg. And then we hit it with some steak rub, went on the coals, and cooked it for 4 minutes total. That was it. I didn't tempt nothing. There was I just felt it. Yep, it feels like it's right to me. And that's when
if we'd have pulled it off right there and cut it, would it have been pretty rare?
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd been really rare.
Yeah.
Because it was still, I could feel it. I was like, well, I'm still going to let it go back on the grill with the hot mushrooms and onions that I sauteed in a skillet. And then with the cheese on top to melt it, that's extra time. So it probably was on the grill, I don't know, 6 minutes. But you got to think of all the heat that was on those vegetables too. So that's cooking it. So
yeah, it was cooking it from both sides.
I would say it was better to me cooked, to rare to medium rare to get it turn out like I wanted to.
Yeah. And
that's what really made it tender too. If you'd have cooked it well done, it'd probably been chewier.
Yeah.
But whenever you're using like choice grade meat or just a regular steak from the grocery store, if you cook them a little bit, if you don't overcook them, they're still really good.
Yeah.
And that's where people run into a problem. They'll get one of those steaks and we'll cook it medium well or something, and you might as well be eating a hamburger.
I thought that it was the perfect cook for a sandwich because it still had some red in the middle, but there wasn't any blood or juices running out, So
I let it rest a good little while too,
Mm-hmm.
while we did the toast and everything. So it took it, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't take the toast. All you did the toast. It was I made up a little garlic butter. I took a half a stick of butter, and I took teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of dried parsley. It's 3 things. Popped it in the microwave 30 seconds. It was kind of creamy. Just kept stirring it, and that heat from stirring it kind of gets it liquefied. And then you just brushed it on the Texas toast, popped it on broil for 2 minutes tops?
Yeah.
It don't take long. You don't
I
walk away
stand there
from
and
it.
watch it real close.
Yeah. If you go too heavy with the butter, it'll be more like a toast you'd want to eat, like they'd serve. Yeah, that kind of garlic toast. But you want it to still, you don't want a ton of butter on it. You just want enough to kind of give it that flavor and to make it brown.
Yeah.
If you go too light, it'll stay yellow. Everybody's done toast like that. You just put a pat of butter on there and it cooks, and it looks like traditional garlic toast.
We had talked about doing it on the grill, toasting it on the grill like Mark from one of his videos did.
Yeah, the chicken sandwich.
But we decided just to,
Yeah.
since we already had too many moving parts.
It would have just been another. I could have done that. I ought to do it.
Yeah. How would you do it if you were going to do it on a grill?
I probably would have took those grill. It would have cooked on the grill grates, but I didn't really want marks on my bread like that. I probably would have laid some foil down, and that's what Mark did. He just laid some foil down on the grill and then cooked it. And it browns up really nice. So you could have done that. Someone suggested that I should have done it on French bread. I saw one of the comments, and I bought a loaf of French bread just in case. I didn't like the way the toast was going to turn out. But to me, the French bread was too dense. I didn't want a bready sandwich. I wanted to, I want the Texas toast was perfect for steak to me. I think it
got soft.
Yeah, but it didn't get mushy like a bun
Yeah.
would. When you get a good greasy burger and your fingers are going through the bun, and it wasn't like that. The toast held up. Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't like a bunch of bread in your mouth.
That's right. I had never done one, but I like barbecue on Texas toast too. Like we go to the barbecue shop, you get the option. You want it on a bun or toast? I always go toast. I just like the crunchy texture on the outside.
Like pulled pork.
Yeah, pulled pork sandwich. Yeah, barbecue sandwich.
Yeah,
it'd be great on a brisket, like a brisket melt. Do that. I need to jot that down. Brisket melt.
That's really good.
It is. I've never seen one. I'm sure there are people done them, but I hadn't. That'll be coming up. But that was
we did a vegetarian one. I hadn't put that video up.
You did? Oh, you should have.
Well, I was waiting.
If you watch that video, you noticed I still had some peppers and onions left over. And after I took a bite of that sandwich, I was like, this is too good. I'm not letting those guys waste either. And so I just laid a couple slices of provolone on it, stuck it back over on the side of the grill, and it sat there until we closed out the video.
Yeah.
And then that's when I said, Shell,
it was on the cool side.
Yeah. It was on the cool side, just sitting there chilling. The cheese got bubbly over the top. So I had 2 more pieces of toast, and I put the mayo on it, and I just took that spatula and slid under that. And I was like, it's either going to come up or it's all going to fall apart. Well, it come up perfect. The cheese glued it.
Just like a
and
steak,
then just like and I slid it under there and slid it on that bread. And man, I could be vegetarian if I could eat that. I don't know. Is that part of the vegetarian diet? It had butter in it and cheese. I guess
don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
If there was no meat,
there's no meat. There's no meat. So I'd say so.
it was good.
So anytime your wife says you got to cook a vegetarian meal, just do the portobello onion, provolone cheese sandwiches.
And even though the vegetarian one, it still had like a smokiness.
They had some grill flavor.
How did it?
I guess from that
cast iron.
picking up flavor in that grill, because I didn't do. Had to be just from the charcoal, because there wasn't nothing that was actually touching the grill. It was in the skillet, but.
How did you decide to do mushrooms and onions? Because a lot of people do peppers and onions.
Yeah, I just like mushrooms.
Yeah.
And when I think of steak, I think of steak and mushrooms, and I knew onions would go with it. And it was just, I don't know. Stuff
really
hits me in the
good.
middle of the night. I'll be laying there think about what.
Got you marking your point.
Yeah.
You're hungry.
It'll be good to eat. And I said, yeah, you know what? Ribeye sandwich.
How'd you pick those mushrooms? Because they were kind of
They were,
a bigger sliced mushroom. What were they, Baby Bellas?
yeah, they only got 2 choices.
At Kroger, yeah.
You had Baby Bellas and buttons. And that day I was feeling Portobello. No,
you could do any
well,
kind
I'll
of
tell you
mushroom,
why,
really.
because you could do any kind. But this goes back to another restaurant experience. One of my restaurants that I like, Amerigo's Italian restaurant. They used to, I don't know if they still, they might at the Jackson branch. I don't know if they do at the Memphis branch. But they served, it was called a Portobello Ribeye. And so it was a ribeye steak, and it wasn't much larger than the steak sandwich steak, because they served a marinated grilled portobello cap. Like I'm talking, not a baby bella, a full blown portobello cap on top of that ribeye steak, and they'd put some cheese and stuff and kind of torch it. And I don't know how they did it, but that steak and mushroom was such a great combination.
Yeah.
The mushrooms is almost, it's like eating a steak itself. So you don't need like a 16-ounce ribeye, 10 to 12 ouncer with the big mushroom caps, fine. And so I knew, I always loved that. And I cook those caps a lot of times. Like when there are occasions where we do vegetarian night, and that's usually my go-to.
Yeah, the portobello.
Portobello,
cap,
yeah.
And the garlic mayo was good. It was garlicky. I love garlic.
I almost did.
It was garlicky, and it went so well on that sandwich.
I almost
Why does
did.
it go so well?
I don't know. I almost did a horseradish mayo.
Yeah, I think that would have worked.
But
too.
I had that roasted garlic because I'd made some pizzas. Like my night to cook, I did some like vegetarian pizzas, and used that roasted garlic with the olive oil to make the sauce instead of using like pizza sauce. And I was like, well, might as well not let it go to waste. Let's make a mayo up with it. And I don't know what an aioli is. I'm not.
I guess it's a
It's like a fancy mayonnaise. Well, we made roasted garlic Blue Plate, and Blue Plate ought to think about bringing that one to market because it was good.
It was very good,
and it was simple too. Black pepper, mayonnaise, hot sauce, and roasted garlic.
Yep.
That's all it was. And I didn't even chop them. I put the roasted garlic in the bowl and just mashed them until it was like a paste. Whipped in the mayonnaise and the hot sauce and the pepper with it, and then put it in the refrigerator and let it just hang out until those flavors got together.
It was so good on that steak sandwich.
Did you keep that or did you throw it out, the rest of it?
No, I think it got thrown out.
Did it set out too long?
Yeah.
I'll have to make up some more. That would be good on all kinds of stuff, not just steak.
I agree.
It'd be good. It'd be good on a hamburger.
Yeah.
Real good.
But if you wanted to not use mayo, I don't know why you wouldn't, but
Yeah.
you could throw A1 on there.
You could do a steak sauce. It really didn't need a sauce.
Yeah, you could just do.
I don't know. The creaminess tied it together.
I know it did. You got a little heat
Yeah.
touch,
Just
that
a touch,
garlic.
but not the garlic really shined through.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Garlic,
good.
mushrooms, onions, steak, they all go really well
You know,
together.
How we do those little pork sliders where we did the caper mayonnaise thing?
Mhm.
That roasted garlic would go great with pork loin little sliders too, or sandwiches.
There is roasted garlic in that recipe.
So I did notice.
It's roasted garlic. It's a roasted garlic, basil.
Capers
Yeah,
and mayonnaise.
yeah.
Well, it would be really good just that way without the capers and the other stuff.
Just do the roasted
Yeah,
garlic.
that's just a simplified version.
You could take that sandwich, the steak sandwich, and turn it into some type of little sliders, couldn't you?
Yeah, I was saying that with filet. Take a filet,
Oh my
and
gosh.
slice it, slice it thin, put your little mushroom pepper on it and a piece of cheese and let that melt and just go straight to a slider bun. Next time I have to do like some kind of sandwich entry or something
Mhm.
like that, or one bite thing, that'd be a heck of a one bite. It would be really
It'd
good.
be very good.
I think so.
Keep it little on the
Yeah.
medium rare side. So it's still pink and tender.
It'd be good.
I'm in. I wanted one of those steak sandwiches right now.
Close to lunchtime.
Would you do anything differently?
No, that was perfect. Made some more.
Yeah, we only had two.
I wish I had
and
somebody
they
to
were
make me
gone.
one right now. Yeah, I only made two. I only bought 2 steaks. But so differently, somebody commented on there that it reminded them of the neighbor's pork chop sandwich they made. And I said, pork chop sandwich? What the heck's that? Have you ever had a pork chop sandwich?
I have, but
I've never done one. I need to do a pork chop
it was like
sandwich.
leftover pork chop, you know?
I like mama's fried pork chop
Yeah,
on white bread.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about a real deal pork chop sandwich. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Would a pork chop be as tender as that ribeye?
You know, That's a good question.
I bet you could tenderize it though.
Oh, what about pork steak sandwich?
Tenderize it real
Because you
good.
could cook those, and they would be tender. That's a good idea too.
Yeah.
Pork steak sandwich. Anything that I can sandwichify.
You like the sandwichify stuff.
Well, all of a sudden, hey, it's lunch. It's not just a dinner. It's lunch. Put it on the menu.
Throw some mayonnaise on
Pork steak sandwich would be good. I'm telling you.
I'm interested in this pork chop sandwich though. I want you to get like those thin cut pork chops, tenderize it real good, grill it
no
hot
bone
and
or
fast.
bone.
No bone, or cut the bone out or
Yeah.
something.
You need a good chop for it, not just like a piece of dry pork
Yeah.
loin. Because I mean, you could take a pork loin, slice it, and
You
put
could
that on a
brine it.
sandwich. I don't consider that a pork chop. So when I think of pork chop, I'm thinking of not a double cut, but a thick cut pork chop, like the kind my mom would fry up.
Yeah.
You know, and then but without the bone
Yeah.
on a sandwich. But like
Let's
grilled.
try it.
I gotta try it.
What would you top it with?
I don't know. See, it's got me thinking. I could do
Do some apples or
a slaw, or I could do some cooked apples and make some kind of a same.
omelet.
Yeah, or I mean, so I was thinking something warm, or you could totally go different and go like the broccoli rabe with some kind of white cheese over the pork would go good if you did it herby kind of
Yeah.
on the pork.
Broccoli can get a little bitter. That broccoli rabe can get a little bit bitter.
I like it on a chicken Philly. You
Yeah.
ever had that? That's what I was thinking. What would go on something lighter meat than red meat?
Yeah.
So you can get away with sweet. You can get away with a different kind of veg and different herbs and stuff. Always thinking, man.
I'll be your guinea pig.
Hey, shoot those ideas to us too. Y'all get some. Y'all want to see me try it?
Or work
I'm
something out.
actually, we've been talking to Meathead a little bit, and we got a thing going where we're trying to work on. I might start testing out some of his recipes to see if I can, how they turn out for me.
Yeah.
And I might do some videos and put some stuff on. I think he's going to put some stuff on his site, and we're going to kind of cross promote each other and kind of, partner up. You gotta have buddies in barbecue, right?
Oh yeah. He's a very knowledgeable guy.
Man,
too.
he knows more. Yeah.
He knows a lot about the business.
They're
side of
into the
things.
science behind it, and he's got a team of people. He's got testers that do like all the grill reviews. Like that's their only job.
Yeah, he has
He's
a guy
got
on staff that just tests.
He's got a thermometer guy. Does nothing but test. Can you imagine that? That's your job. I'm just going to test thermometers all day, all different kinds. You think he'd run out, but I guess there's all kinds of ways to test them, huh?
People are always emailing and asking like, what grill should I get? And we have like a smoker buying guide, but it's like a 1-page thing. It's
That's
just like
my quick abridged version.
yeah, it's just like these are the things you need to think about. But we don't do any serious research or stuff. So now I'm gonna start sending them to his page because he has just
Yeah,
I
oodles
mean,
and oodles.
yeah, of research. So if you're interested in buying a Traeger Ironwood or whatever, you can go and find out all the details of that specific grill, that model.
Yeah, 'cause
and-
I'm just telling you what I like.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
my take on it. For my reason.
Yeah.
There ain't no science behind it.
it's all art here.
Yeah. It's all
It's
art,
all-
yeah. Redneck
We'll call
ingenuity.
it art.
I like that. And
It's all eating, really.
yeah. Which one can I cook a delicious ribeye sandwich on, right?
But yeah, if you are interested in, buying a specific smoker, you can go there and get all the details about it.
I thought
Compare and
I've been going
contrast.
through his Pitmaster Club and just reading some of the topics on there and all that stuff.
It's just
It would
endless.
take you,
Yeah.
There's so much information.
Yeah.
Way more than I ever imagined. I've known about it. I've known about that site for a long time. I mean, I use Amazing Ribs. It's a good resource.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I need to research something I'm doing, shoot, you don't think I'm going to go see what they say about it? 'Cause there's so many guys on there know what they're talking about,
And I was blown away by how many people he has, on staff researching stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. In fact, when I was doing some research, because we're going to talk about two-zone fires here in a second, so I like to just do a little research and get some stuff together so I can ask you questions,
Sure.
And so I went to, when I was Googling it, his website came up and he has just illustrations and he breaks it down and really gets specific with it.
I need you to do that on some of my stuff.
Psh, I ain't got time.
That's the one thing. You gotta have a staff to do all that.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself. It's too much.
I'm not a good researcher either, unless we're talking like
Decorate.
I was gonna say food. I can research.
So what are we talking? So you want to talk about
Two Zone Fire?
Two Zone Fire
Or Two Zone Cooking?
You know, I use
What
that
is
all the time. Well, okay, that was the one thing. So you asked me, well, you know, why do you call it Two Zone Fire or whatever? Two Zone Fire is pretty much hot to cold side.
Is it Two Zone Fire, Two Zone Cooking, Two Zone Grill?
Whatever you want to call it.
Two
I don't. I mean, that's a scientific. You need to go look that up. I didn't make it up. I just call it Two Zone Fire because I've got one side of my grill that's got all the hot coals. That's the hot side, and then I've got a void on the opposite side. So hot zone, cool zone, two zones.
Yeah, you used it this week to do your ribeye sandwich.
I use it, and I've used it all the time.
Yeah.
Any kind of grill can be set up for it, like a grill. Now, pellet grills, you're not doing two zone stuff on them, but they're different. You know, it's more different cooking.
It's more of a grill thing than a smoker thing. Is there even a point of using a Two Zone Fire with a smoker?
No,
like you're not going to do that with Jolene. There's no point. Yeah.
Mm-mm. There's no. I mean, you got your zones by where you move it on the cooking tray, but it's not the same. Because when I say Two Zone Fire, it's not the.
It's more direct and indirect.
The whole idea is
you got to have.
I've got a direct side where I can really sear if I want to, and then I've got a cool side like a safe zone to slow things down. And you know, there's different ways to cook on a Two Zone Fire. You know, some people like to do a reverse sear. They'll start it out over on the cool zone, finish it. Some things we do hot sear on and move. I mean, there's no right or wrong. I mean, best approach or whatever. That's just how I like to do it. And I started using a lot of the Two Zone stuff on charcoal grills when I know it's going to be a longer cook and I'm cooking a lot of stuff and I need me a place to move food to when it gets ahead or when I've got other stuff on there. I just know that if I'm sitting there turning stuff, I can put something over in the cool zone and it'd be okay. It's not going to overcook on me. It buys me a little time. That's what's great about it. And also it lets you watch those internal temperatures come up slower. You know, if say like I'm cooking a chicken or something, chicken breast or any kind of piece of chicken, and I started it out and I seared it first, you know, really to get the skin crunchy and all that stuff I wanted on the outside of it. But then I know that that chicken's probably going to overcook on the outside if I kept it in that direct heat. Well, I've got the Two Zone, I've got the cool zone over here. I can move that chicken over and, you know, watch it and it'll slow down. It'll slowly cook. It'll stop the outside from burning up or whatever. And it lets me, you know, if I want to glaze it, I can put some sauce on it, move it back over and let it get a little caramelized and a little charry maybe, then move it back. So that's what I like about it. And I remember, heck, I think it was one of the early videos we did, maybe it was on jerk chicken or something like that. I would do that. I had all those pieces. I remember this is our old house. It might have been on the old Black Weber grill that I had, and I'd load all the chicken up on the hot side, get some color on it, move it over, and that's how my style of jerk chicken. That, you know, and that's kind of what those guys do when they're cooking in those drums or, you know, those half barrels. They'll have coals all on one side and they'll move it around and always working the grill. That's like old school style cooking to me.
Yeah, you get a good flavor that way.
Heck yeah, it builds the best flavor.
Can you do it with a gas grill?
Yeah, and you can set up gas grills for it because you turn burners on and off. And when I'm cooking on gas grill, I usually do that too. I'll have, you know, I'll either do like a left side, right side, or vice versa, or I'll have like two outers on and the inner's the safe spot or something like that. You can do it different ways.
So that's what
they work great. They work great.
When you're doing a Two Zone, is it always like left side hot, right side cold, or could it be like coals in the middle and
you could spread it out? Yeah, definitely do that. You can.
Yeah.
You can put all the coals in the middle, and you got your outer zones. Cool. And you know I would say a lot of people do that on kettle grills too. You know, they'll put it in the middle and then cook kind of around it, have a safe spot. But I like the left and right. I like having it all on one side. One side I know 550, 600 degrees searing, ready to rock and roll, and the other side is probably about 350. And a kettle grill, you know, I guess different grills are different, but usually a lot of times you can control it depending on the type of grill you have. You can shut off airflow on the cool side and then have it drafting that way. So it's pulling the heat over there. So it's pulling some indirect heat over to you. PK is a great example of that. When I did that tomahawk steak, I kind of had it set up like that. I use it a lot on my PK because it kind of gets that flow through it. You know, it's coming off the hot coals, the air's coming in on that side, keeping the coals stoked, and then it's exhausting over on the other side. And it's pulling it across the grate, and it makes really great heat.
I mean, that's how you smoke on the PK. That's how you turn it into
that's
a
how you
smoker.
same way. Yeah.
Have you ever done a real long cook on your PK, like a pork butt or something?
No,
It's harder to pass up the other smokers.
Yeah, I don't see if that's the only grill I had, I'd figure out a way to smoke on it. But I mean, you know, if I'm just gonna put it on a drum. If I'm just cooking one, or let it roll all night on the pellet grill, or
you know how you do the vortex? You get the vortex in the middle and you fill it up full of charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a 2-zone fire?
It's not the vortex. Really, I mean,
theoretically,
you got it set up in 2 zones, but it's so forced heat out that one side that no, it's not really 2-zone.
You'd burn something up if you put it over that.
Yeah, if you did, you better. You couldn't sear a steak on it. It would just scorch it.
Yeah, it's
so hot it makes wood catch on fire right there. You know, So
what temperature do you think that is right there at that vortex?
I don't know.
It'd be good to use that.
It would blow that off.
Really?
I think it'd be hot. No, I don't know. It can't be that hot. I wouldn't imagine because it'd melt the grill or the rack or something. So, but I still bet it's I bet it's over 700 degrees or 750. I would imagine. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know of anything you could cook at that temp, like from the bottom heat like that would take it. I mean,
it'd have to be super fast.
Yeah, it'd have
to. Just a kiss.
Just run it over it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got to think that's a lot of heat right there on it. I mean, it's forced.
Well, when they do cowboy steaks and just throw it directly on the coals, I mean, what temp is that cooking at?
I don't know what it burns at.
Yeah.
We need to go check the amazing ribs for that. I have no idea what the surface area, some like lump logs or lump coal is when you cook on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
1,000 degrees? No, I doubt it's that hot. I don't know. It's pretty damn hot though. But I guess it's just getting some direct heat from the outside. But when you put that meat on those coals, the coolness of them slopping them right there. So it's not like when you got airflow and you got them constantly going, you got meat dripping. It's probably
a lot
make
hotter.
it. Yeah, it's and the air's coming through it. So you got to think the air's not coming through that fire as much.
Yeah, it's just
right there
contact.
on it.
Yeah.
But I've never cooked that way, and that's on my list to do a big tomahawk steak on coals like that.
I just worry you're going to mess up a big old tomahawk.
I know.
Steak.
That's why I was like, why? I want it ashy, and they say, "Oh, it don't get ashy."
Let's get something cheap and try it first, so we can throw it away. We don't feel bad throwing it away.
Hey, I know something. I can get a big deer shoulder. Cowboy steak it. What do you think that'd be like?
I thought you'd have to do it with something a little thinner.
Yeah, you probably would, because I can't imagine. And see, you said, well, I mean, I see guys doing it. Maybe it's just for a show effect.
Yeah,
it can't be as good as what you could cook on a grill in a different kind of technique.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
It was necessity back in the day.
Yeah.
There's better options.
Right. Shovels came out and you can cook on one of them. You can hold it over then we decided, hey, let's cook with a rack. That's even better.
So do you have to use a metal pan to create the void?
No, you don't. You could have, I stuck that in there just because it keeps the coals. I mean, it does keep them over. Does it really matter? No, I don't think so.
Could you put liquid in it?
Yeah, but it wouldn't help. I mean, I don't think it'd make anything.
If I was doing a long
cook or something, I'd probably put some beer juice or water in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's more of a heat sink, They have those.
That would make sense. It's more about keeping the temp low.
And I do it
with the liquid.
I do it just the old jackleg way. Just throw the coals in there. They make trays, and Mark's got that attachment, that slow and sear thing, where it's got fits in there perfect, designed to make that. I just pile them up.
Do you remember when we used to we used to spin the chicken in a fish basket?
Yeah, that was 2-zone.
Yeah.
We had the rotisserie set up, but the Weber, it had like the ring that would sit on top of the grill, and we put the thighs in this basket. And then the coals, I had these little Weber.
Chicken. That's what we're talking about.
We killed it with it.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those things, you're the first or last. It was.
Yeah.
because it was like once we got on a roll hitting it, it would hit, and it was 17-minute comp chicken is all it took, and it took 17 briquettes on each side. I had these little Weber metal trays that kind of they're like little half moon shape, yeah, little trays that fit on each side, and I'd count it out. I'd do 2 chimneys, 17 in each one. Put them in there, let that spin or let that roll for 10 minutes to get the grill hot. I don't even remember. I don't think that Weber had a thermometer on it. But then we'd put the rotisserie in there, load the chicken, and it
17 minutes.
17 minutes, and you take it out.
Your 17 chicken.
Yeah, that's it. Triple 17. But it would, and so what got me though, I think judges finally figured out, like, if you do it too many weeks in a row and they can see, because it's in that basket, it puts a line on it. And every time it had the perfect lines.
Because you had to squish it in that basket.
Yeah, to hold it tight or it'd all flop around. So we'd take it out of that, then we'd dunk it, put it on a little rack, and then, stick it right back on pop the regular rack back in. It'd sit there and glaze for 5, just long enough to tighten up the sauce.
Yeah.
Your coals were perfect at that point.
But I think just the roasting it over that flame
made it taste so good.
Yeah.
Because it just kept flipping. And that's what we just call it, flipping chicken. Because it was just constantly flipping around on that rotisserie. And it was good. It really was good too. It was different.
How did we come up with that idea? No, I mean, it's not like we saw somebody else doing it.
I think it was Mark Lambert said something about rotating chicken. And I said, all right, I'm going to get me one of these things and we're going to do it. And it was half of barbecue season before it started tanking. But judges, I think they would know. It was like
they were like, "Oh, that's Killer House chicken."
Yeah, that's Killer House chicken. It's not as good because you get the same judges judging the same contest.
Cooking the same.
I don't know. This is just cook talk. This speculation. It could have been my chicken sucked that day.
I remember we were on a roll with chicken and we left one contest. I think it was Nesbitt contest, and we had tanked in chicken. And several people had asked us about that. How you spinning chicken? Several judges had come around and asked us.
What is good is when you did it.
Yeah. I left that contest and I said, "We're never spinning chicken again."
I remember. Yeah, I hadn't cooked a piece. I think that was Wynn Farm Fest or something. Was it? That. I remember.
It was a local one.
We had, and the judges would know. You'd see them walk by. Of course, they're getting there when you're getting the grill set up for chicken, and they see the.
Well, it only takes 1 or 2, and they talk so much in the judge room.
Heck yeah.
I mean, it's just human nature, but
that's it. You can win with it. I mean, it's good chicken.
The flavor's great.
Is it easier than cooking it on a drum in a pan of butter? No.
Oh.
There's a lot of moving parts with it.
Yeah. Well, you got to get the chicken in there and squish it down just right. Because, I mean, it was a fish basket. You had to squish it down.
And run the rotisserie.
And if it got a little off, we still have the rotisserie, that ring.
Yeah, that goes to the Weber.
We still have it in the garage.
I had the ribulator for it in the garage. You remember that? I never really used it.
Oh,
but it's like a Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
like a Ferris wheel tray. You lay the ribs in it, and I cooked chicken in that too. That was a lot.
The problem with that is it would get real. Yeah.
Yeah, I dumped some chicken one time in that too. I was cooking them. I had it loaded up with wings, and I was like, well, this is stupid.
You kicked that one.
Yeah. I can cook 6 slabs of rib at a time. I was like, yeah, I can. On one of my other grills. If that's the only thing you had, I guess it'd be okay. But
if they had it where it wouldn't so.
I don't know if you could do it. It has to do that to be able to work.
Be able to work, yeah.
And that was the thing. It was so tight in there that if it least bit had a lid on wrong or anything got off, it would dump them. And it was all of a sudden you had coals all in the bottom of your meat, or your meat in your coals.
So, what do you like to use a 2-zone fire for cooking? Do you use it for steaks?
I like to use it for a lot of things. Depending if I'm not needing the whole grill, I know that it's going to be a longer cook. I would always do it. If I'm just cooking a few steaks, I'm not probably going to do a 2-zone. I'm just going to fire up a chimney, spread it out, cook my steaks, and be done. Well, but if I'm going to be doing some grilling, and I know that I'm going to be working that grill, always have a 2-zone.
Like
always.
Chicken.
Yeah, because I can always add some more coals to it. But it's really about having that safe area. If I'm saucing something, I can put the pan there. I can keep stuff warm. I can, move it over. It's real, real handy if you're doing a lot of grilling to have you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a 2-zone. It could be on, whatever kind of grill you're cooking on, just make you a cool spot too. And, that way, know your grill, know how to run your fire, and know where to put stuff on it. But the 2-zone works great.
You used to always cook for that ancillary chicken category. You used to always cook boneless, skinless thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Were you using a 2-zone then, or was it all direct?
That was such a quick cook that depending on when we were bringing your dad's old big grill, I would always set that one up because it was like it was probably the rack on it might have been 5 foot wide by 3 foot deep. It's huge. It's hog cooking grill.
Yeah.
But it was a grill, like a homemade event type grill.
Yeah, you put your coals underneath.
Yeah. And so I'd always put them on one side. That way I could cook the chicken to get it where I want it, move it over, let it come up, and then dunk it in the sauce, put it back over, and watch it and stand it. That's how I cook it. When I was doing it on the Weber, it was just a quick thing. It was like I got a few pieces of thighs on there for a box, grill them, they come in a pan, sauce them, go back on, and they're off. So that was 15-minute cook.
Yeah.
But when you're doing
thin pieces of chicken.
Yeah, when you're doing a lot of it, and I was cooking, so at the time, we were doing ancillary turn-ins, but I'd have burgers on there, I'd have sausages on there, so I needed a big grill with all different
people.
Yeah, still feeding people standing over there while you're doing your cooking. Those was good old days. That's hard to beat that recipe. I won a lot of daggum chicken stuff with that too.
I wish we'd have turned that in this past week.
Eddie did.
Did he?
No, you know what he did? I think he told me he did.
No, he did that. The recipe you did with the
bacon
wrap. You wrap the
chicken bombs.
Yes.
Yep. It was last year. He won with he calls it burn ass chicken. He says you just take boneless, skinless thighs, marinate them, Italian dressing, season them, put them on the grill till you burn the crap out of them, sauce them, and then put them on there and burn them just a little bit more. And the judges love it because he seen me do that. Yeah. I did it at South Haven for I was helping out some kids team or something. No, it was when Shaq had a team. I forget who they were, but I went over there and it's like, you want to cook the chicken? I was like, well, what do you got? And he's like, a boneless. I said, yeah, I can cook that. So, and they were all serious, and I was over there having a good time. Cook that chicken. I don't think they got to call that whole contest if they got first place chicken. And I burnt the crap out of it. It was a bad day. They had 2 Jaeger machines and 1,000 Jello shots. I think I fell down that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dancing up on that scaffolding like a fool. You remember he had a full bar, 2 DJs, light smoke machine. I mean, it was buck wild. And then I wasn't in charge of nothing. No, yeah, I was going to act a fool. You made me leave. Which was probably a good thing. Kept me from going, getting in serious trouble.
That was a long time ago.
Man, years.
Yes.
Way before kids.
So when you cook steaks for a competition and you sear them and you grill them, but y'all will sometimes move them up to a rack. Is that putting them in a 2-zone?
Yeah, but it's not really 2-zone. It's just your safe zone. It's just not as hot up there. Is it 2-zone? Yeah, technically it's a different temp, but it's not the same as, it's not like grilling. Really, you're talking about smoking when you're doing that.
Yeah. Weber has that, isn't that what you got recently? A Weber grate that has the hinge?
Yeah, it has hinges on each side, and you can take the middle out. I bought it for the Vortex because I was worried about that Vortex cooking my. I mean, I still got the same old Weber grate on it, I think. But I was like, man, it's getting awful thin there where it's so hot. So I was like, well, I didn't know they made one until I got to Googling, and it's like a little insert, and it's perfect for when you're doing the Vortex.
So it's got hinges on both sides to feed like a 2-zone. If
you wanted to, you flip it up. You can add Kohler wood, and then it's also got the insert in the direct middle of it. It's like if you imagine like a 4-inch diameter, circle.
So you can take it in and out.
Yeah, and the Vortex it'd be nothing over the Vortex. Yeah, you couldn't really do your wood like I do, but
you can still throw a piece of wood up in there.
Yeah, get the flame straight up to whoever. If you did that,
you'd eat the top of your lid. What was the price tag on that? Great.
Oh, I don't think it was $20. I got it at Amazon.
Really?
So it wasn't much. Yeah.
It was real heavy duty.
It's just it's a Weber.
Yeah, brand.
I don't think it was much more. I don't know. I got it on Amazon Prime. That's just practically free. They just I don't know where that money goes or comes from. You don't know where the money comes from or goes, and it just shows up at your house. They make it too easy.
Yeah, they do. So how long can you smoke on? So let's talk about using 2s on fire for smoking, which we talked about that a little bit. But kind of like a PK, like we talked about, it's perfect for that.
That's where it comes down to fire management. And so, if you try to choke them down, say if you take a Weber or a PK or something, you put you a good chimney full of coals on it, and you choke the vents back to where you're wanting to run it, like you're talking about running it like a long cook.
Yeah, like for pork butt.
I imagine you could get
or
2.5 hours is what I've done when I've cooked them on a Weber before like that. Probably about 2.5, 3 hours before you need to add a little bit more coal. And really, we didn't really add hot coal. We would just add, a handful or two of briquettes and raise the grate up, throw a few in there, put a bit of wood on there.
Got a hinge grate too on the 360.
Yeah, already, yeah. I've never done it on the PK, but I'd imagine you're going to do about the same time. It may go a little longer because that aluminum does really well, but usually 2 to 3 hours. You're going to have to do something on that once you get it ginned in, running right. Because you don't want to put too much coal on it because it'll all get lit and it'll make too much heat. But you don't want to put just a little bit because you're going to be going in there all the time. So I usually go about a chimney and then add to that a handful at a time and keep it rolling.
A full lit chimney?
Yeah. I'll light a whole chimney. I might put a little extra around there and keep it all on the side. It's really just, it depends on the airflow. It depends on what the temperature is outside. There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
But if you know that you better be checking on it every 2 hours would be a good guess. And then as you see it drop, just add a little bit more and it'll roll.
Could you hook a guru up to a PK?
PK 360 you could. I don't see why not. Because it's got on the front, it's got the twist, the air tube. And so you could easily get an adapter to go on that. Now, regular PK, it would take a special kind of adapter to go up underneath it. But I'm sure they have one. They've got an adapter for everything.
PK does?
Yeah. No, not PK. You get it from
Guru. Yeah.
If that was, that's who would sell it.
I
bet guys have tried it though.
I bet that Billows from ThermoWorks, the way it attaches to everything really easily.
You probably make it work on the 360.
Yeah, you'd have to reinforce it sometime.
It's made for the Weber. The Billows is made to go on like a Smoky Joe or a Weber grill, and it'd be perfect because I know guys hook them up to those all the time.
Yeah.
You can actually take that 22-inch Weber and buy like a kit for it to turn it into a smoker. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of like that ring the rotisserie ring. It stacks up.
Yeah.
I guess it has a place to put a water pan. So it basically turns it into like a Smoky Mountain.
What's the price on the kit?
I have no idea. I never bought one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine $150.
I'm just thinking by the time
you
buy
as much as I bet it's at least $100.
Yeah. By the time you buy the Weber and then the kit.
Yeah,
get you a Weber Smoky Mountain or something.
Yeah, but if you got your old Weber and you don't want 2 grills, people like accessories.
Yes, people do.
Yeah, I do.
I got a garage full of them.
Accessories.
Ever had a mishap with a 2-zone fire? I guess chicken.
About the worst thing is I don't know. My grates got off before and dumped some stuff. I don't know about mishap.
Maybe chimney went out or coals went out.
Coals went out and needing air. I know. One time I was cooking on this wasn't like a video ring thing. And I had the 360 set up for it. And I didn't realize I had the intakes closed, and I never could get any heat. And I was like, "What's that? No, I got these open." And come to find out, I'd had them going the wrong way. It was when I first got it and was fighting it. And I was like, "This thing won't get up to temp." And I said, "Well, it will help if you open it up."
It was that user error.
Yeah. That's what happens. But that's really, that's the simplest way to run a fire, and it's really great for you because it gives you a safe zone. So if I had to say why, the things I like about cooking with 2 zones is it just gives you a little safety net, having a cool space to move stuff over.
Yeah.
So if something there's all the time. You see guys grilling. That's having to meat. Stuff will get to flaming up. You get a lot of things on there. Maybe something come out of an oily marinade. If you got that 2-zone fire, just take your tongs and move it over there. You don't panic. But you get these, people getting squirt balls out and doing all that stuff and fighting it and running around the grill. That ain't necessary. Just chill out. Set your fire up right. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, sometimes you need it for like thicker cuts of chicken or something like that.
Yep.
So
that's pretty much all I can tell you about 2-zone fire. If you want more in depth than that, we're going to bring in an expert.
You are the expert. What are you talking about? So coming up, we are about to head to the casinos.
Man, we are. This is our weekend to where we're off football. Michael doesn't have it. Surprisingly, I thought he had a game. He doesn't have a game. And we're doing adult weekend. Got some friends meeting us down there. We're not going far, but we're going to a sports book. Watch football. You got some bets ready? Have you even looked?
I haven't even looked.
Are you just going to go pick your favorite teams or whatever? Is Mississippi State playing, or are they all? I think they're off.
We did this last year.
Ole Miss is playing Vandy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who you like?
Might be a good
Who
thing.
you like?
Where are they playing at?
I think it's in Oxford, but it's Ole Miss -6.
Is it?
Yeah, you think they beat Vandy by 6? They always play close. That's a lot of points for them two teams.
Last year we did this, and I researched it and I made my pick.
I like LSU. I got them at 25 right now, though. I'm giving up 20.
Yeah, but they're playing a scrub, aren't they?
It don't matter. They've been scoring so many points. Yeah. That quarterback's awesome. They're not my team or anything, but that quarterback's good. They got. I expect them to give Bama a run for their money this year.
That's what
I can't wait on that game. I need to look at that and see watch it'll be when we're at World Foods or something.
Yeah, when we can't watch it.
Actually, I can. Should. Hopefully.
I did a lot of research last year for my picks, and they all were crapped out busted on me. So I'm just going down there and doing
eeny meeny.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I'm just gonna go down there and circle some.
Yeah, there you go. We'll take this one.
Put a couple dollars in some slots.
How about Army? You like Army?
I don't even know who they're playing. I don't know.
Let's just bet I think Navy's
I'm not
playing
gonna
Air
do
Force.
Your bets. I'm gonna just do what opposite of what you bet.
There you go. I've always said that's my bookie line. If you want to get a business going, just call me and ask me who I like, and then just go the opposite, and you'll win every time. I'm the world's worst when it comes to it.
Gambling is fun to an extent. After I lose $40, I'm like, this isn't,
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I lost last year. We've only done this. Last year was the first time I've ever been to sports book because Mississippi just legalized it.
It's been a year now.
And we picked one day last weekend, and I hadn't been back since. But we did a whole Saturday, watched every game, made a bunch of bets. We had a budget. I think we took $200 a piece.
Yeah.
And we were betting. We weren't betting $10 a game, $20 a game, whatever. It was fun, but I had got down to where I bet all my $200 in the end, and
I'd lost all mine.
You lost all yours, and then I was looking at Sunday games for pros as we were going home, but I picked a 14 parlay, and I said I'm gonna bet. I forget what it was. The last thing I had was a $40 winning ticket. I took that $40 and I got all our money back. And I forget how much it was. It might have been a 3-team parlay.
So you had
paid $400, whatever it was.
Yeah,
I had to go back. Monday, remember? Because I had that winning ticket from Sunday. I said, I'm going back down there to get our money, and we're not going back. One day.
That's a lucky.
Heck yeah, it's a lucky bet. I don't even remember.
It wasn't parlay, though?
Yeah, and it was I made it at I don't know, that last game was on. It's always Hawaii and somebody or something like that. And I said, I'm a loser today. I had to go to bed a loser. But then I made that, so I left with my lucky ticket, 3 teams. And they hit, so. I'm going to have to find me a 3-team parlay to save us this weekend. It's going to be fun. If anybody's at Gold Strike, y'all come hang out at the sports book.
This coming week's recipe, Monterey chicken.
Yeah.
Grilled Monterey chicken.
So, I don't know. That's what I've always seen it called. And restaurants served it. I think the first place I ever had it might have been Chili's or somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's like grilled chicken breast, barbecue sauce.
So good, too.
Cheese, bacon, green onion. They always serve it with mashed potatoes. And so I'm making my version Monterey chicken.
And it's got some barbecue sauce on it, or some type of sauce.
It's barbecue sauce.
Is it? Yeah.
I'm probably going to marinate it or brine it probably.
Yeah.
Brine chicken breasts and
grill it.
Yeah. I'm probably what am I doing on a pellet grill? I haven't done a pellet grill recipe in a while, I don't think. Sounds like a winner to me. It's going to be fun.
Next week, we're going to Houston or Dallas. I get them mixed up. Dallas. We're going to Dallas.
Not next week.
We're
practicing.
Yeah, we're going to be going
next week's
World
practice
Foods.
week for World Foods. So we got to get some seafood down.
Yeah.
We've already got our recipes lined out. We got to do a version of a Southwestern style char grilled oyster. That's the control dish or whatever they make you do, structured. And then you have your kind of cook's choice or whatever is whatever kind of seafood dish you want. And I'll tell you what we did after we did it, because it might be something where y'all don't do that. Do not do what we did.
But we're going to practice on Friday.
We're going to practice next week.
Yep. And then we're going
I
to
can't
cook
wait.
at the net.
You ordered some oysters. Where'd you order those live oysters from? One of them
Louisiana Cajun Company or something like
Yeah,
that.
they're supposed to be delivered next Friday.
Yeah.
Bought them by the dozen, right? What'd you get?
Yeah.
4 or
And
5
they
dozen?
said if you spend $100,
Free shipping.
you get free shipping. So I ordered us the $100 worth of oysters.
That sounds like a Friday night to me.
Yeah,
I don't know how they turn out. We're going to eat some oysters.
What month is it? It's October.
Heck yeah.
So we're good.
Sober October.
Uh,
Nearly sober October.
uh.
Suddenly sober. I don't know. We got to come up with a catchphrase like Rogan has.
All right.
Well,
That's all I got.
That's all you got? That was a good podcast. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Shell, tell them where they can find us other than here.
If you would like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram.
And we appreciate y'all hanging out with us today.
Maybe we'll do some updates from the sports book.
That would be funny on Instagram.
Early.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing like-
That's some Instagram post right there. I can post my pics and we'll put them out there. Give people time to get theirs in the opposite way. That's what it's going to be. Hashtag go opposite. I'm just going to put a picture of my ticket, my $20 ticket or whatever. Then we'll put this one's a lock. I'll give one lock of the week on there where you go the opposite, guaranteed to win. But anyway, it's going to be a fun weekend and we'll hang out with y'all next week.